Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, we're talking manufacturing with Jay Parmer. He's the interim president of the Nevada Manufacturers Association, and Paul Enos of the Nevada Trucking Association. They're here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
The $150,000 flurry of cash giveaways only at the Carson Valley Inn.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we are joined by Jay Parmer, who is the interim president of the Nevada Manufacturers Association, and Paul Enos of the Nevada Trucking Association. And I want to start out with you, Jay, initially. The Nevada Trucking Association, the Nevada Manufacturing Association, run for many years by Ray Bacon. You have now taken over that position. People don't often think about Nevada as a manufacturing state, but it's actually a pretty big industry, correct?
It is. In fact, the Bureau of Labor Statistics has reported that since 2020, Nevada's led the nation in manufacturing growth, which is a very interesting statistic, and it's something that we took note of and wanted to make sure that we are working to support and encourage in the state.
Okay, now for a state that doesn't have a ton of water, we have a surprising amount of manufacturing. Name off some of the different industries that people might not be aware of that we're involved in.
You know, our membership, as well as the industries that we communicate with, run the gamut. Everything from small manufacturers, tool and die type organizations, all the way up to more complex manufacturing. We have a lot of electrical related assembly with wiring harnesses and things of that nature. And then in Southern Nevada, we have some specialty manufacturing like specialty foods and beverages that support and are part of the hospitality industry in the state. So it really runs the gamut.
Paul, you're going to be helping the association with lobbying and things like that at the legislature, but you've been very much involved on a personal basis with things going on at the Nevada Manufacturing Association for 20 years or more.
Sure. No, Ray Bacon, one of my really good friends. And yeah, I really do think a state works better, creates a better business ecosystem when you have strong trade organizations. And the Nevada Trucking Association has been around for 92 years. The manufacturers have been around for 50 years. And there's some tremendous synergy between our two groups, right? Trucking needs manufacturing to work well, right? We need all of those sectors to work well. We're not one of the drivers of the economy. We're there to support it. Manufacturing, really, that's one of the places where we're getting some of the most value add, in terms of our economy, in terms of what we're generating. And, it does run the gambit from metals to concrete to food. And it's pretty amazing just to see how diverse manufacturing is. I always say, Sam, that trucking is the most resilient link in the supply chain. And that's true. And it's true because it's small, in terms of the number of companies, or the size of the companies is small. You have a great number of them. And moving a product from point A to point B tends to be one of the easier things to do when we are thinking about these very complex things that we're trying to put together. When you think about manufacturing a product that has, 19 or 19,000 different parts and components in it, one of those pinch points can have an impact, throughout the entire process of getting that product built. So it really is complex. Regulations make a big difference, in terms of how well those things function. And so we just want to have an ecosystem here, support an ecosystem in the state of Nevada that helps all of these industries fire on all cylinders.
Jay, it's been interesting to watch over the last 20 years with Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, bringing in so many different manufacturing companies. But now with Apex actually really up and running down in Southern Nevada, it opens up much more opportunity for manufacturing in Southern Nevada. And even though the industry is never going to diversify 100% away from gaming, obviously, and all the things associated with that, but it still can become a very big portion of the economy.
It can, and economic diversification is very beneficial to the state. We'll always be a tourism-driven state, and we'll always have that sector of the economy as a major driver. But manufacturing is a very helpful part of the employment opportunities out there in terms of wages and benefits. And the great thing about manufacturing is that 50% of the jobs in manufacturing only require a high school diploma. So for kids that aren't college bound, the ones that are going to be getting through high school and wondering what's next for them, manufacturing provides a great opportunity for employment post high school. It's important that they get that high school diploma, but once they're there are plenty of jobs in that sector. There are jobs today in manufacturing that are available for people that want to work.
Yeah, and these are high-paying jobs, and you're looking at what used to be, grease monkeys. Once again, it's a computerized business.
Well, hey, I love those grease monkeys, right? I don't see that necessarily as as an insult,
No, not as an insult. No, of course not.
It's pretty amazing the kind of technical experience that you need. And look, unfortunately, workforce development is one of our biggest issues. Ray Bacon spent a tremendous amount of time and was one of the experts in the state on education.
Absolutely.
And getting our educational system fixed and ready to go, and ready to get somebody who does have that high school diploma, who is not going to go to college, be able to matriculate into those jobs. We still have a lot of work to do there. Jay and I were talking about this yesterday, and Jay says, hey, we need to get them earlier. We need to get them before they hit the community college.
Right. Well, I mean, the Nevada Builders Alliance is looking into middle schools at this point in time to start getting people interested in being involved in the building trades. Is that an area that you wish to go into as well?
Well, that's a national trend. The National Governors Association actually presented to the governors last year and said that in order to train a workforce, you need to get kids earlier. You find people that have a different way of thinking. They're not book learners. They're not classroom learners. They're hands-on learners. They like a tactile approach to learning. And the sooner you can get kids, particularly in that critical middle school age cohort, and you can get them and figure out what fascinates them and what encourages them to go to school, you can apply learning and training in math and STEM to get them to the point where they will be much more hireable coming out of high school. So yes, the earlier the better.
And our governor, I think, has done a good job in getting some of these programs started here. Jay's worked with his office, in getting a Star Academy and Elko. We're looking at some other options, but it is getting those kids who may not make it to or through high school, getting them early and getting them to a place where they can go right from high school into a very diverse field of careers.
The Trump administration is obviously interested in onshoring more manufacturing into this country. The other side of that coin is that the cost of these things will likely go up because we pay American workers more money. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's a good thing. I think we all saw during COVID with the supply chain issues that we had, when you are dependent on a competitor, I'm going to be nice about it, an international competitor, and you need certain products that they also need, there is a cost to that. And so, yeah, there may be an increased cost for American workers, but to me, it's a lower cost than not having that product at all. Whether it's a motherboard or a chip or a bolt or pharmaceuticals or PPE. So, I think in order for us to be a strong and resilient country, we need to have some of those very essential things that we need made here or made closer to here.
And what about, and I realize these are the initial negotiating ploys, but our relationship with Canada and Mexico, we should be utilizing them, not necessarily battling them. At the same time, the tariffs that the previous Trump administration put on were maintained through the Biden administration. So it's not like this is something new.
No, it's not. And look, I think the president-elect is, a very great negotiator. He's, I think, extremely talented. And I don't think he's going to do anything that's going to make things more expensive for Americans. He's going to look at the products that are being brought into America that are competing with American products. And yeah, if they don't want to have a reciprocal trade agreement, free trade agreement, those might get a tariff. But the things that we don't make here, and Howard Lutnick, the Secretary of Commerce, has stated this during the campaign, we're not going to put a tariff on those things. So, there is a tremendous amount of nuance, in terms of how you apply the tariffs to what country. And the reality is America has really subsidized economies throughout the world. We have exported a tremendous amount of our industrial and manufacturing base. And for us to be resilient, we need to see if we can get some of that back, especially for some of those most essential goods and products.
But as a nation, we are a manufacturing nation. I mean, it's not like we've been running short in terms of manufacturing.
Historically, but we've really made some decisions over the years because of costs and labor availability to offshore critical processes
and environmental costs
that have really become a national security consideration when it comes to energy independence, when it comes to manufacturing things like semiconductors, which we found out during the pandemic was a huge impact on the United States because everything runs on semiconductors. Everything from the availability of new cars to military operations need semiconductors. So now we're looking at bringing semiconductors back to the United States. At the same time, under the current administration, we have environmental regulations coming out of federal EPA that are in conflict with those manufacturing processes. And honestly, when we get to the point where we're making, could be an impediment to us bringing those products to market. So with the new administration, we need to reconcile all of those situations and all of those differences and get us back to being focused on manufacturing. And I think it's going to be part of President Trump's America First initiatives.
I think one of the things to look for is that, we obviously saw a major swing in the electorate in this last election, and the public is hungry for change, but I don't think they're hungry for change to go all the way to the extreme. Isn't there going to be a balancing act so that 4 years from now, it doesn't all swing back in the other direction?
Well, Sam, there's always a balancing act, right? And so, I think taking a look at what you're trying to accomplish, say we're talking about the environment. Hey, we all want to have cleaner air. We all want cleaner water. But some of the things that we're doing don't necessarily contribute to that. So, where are we shifting those costs and burdens? And I think, not being myopic and like just looking at one thing, like tailpipe emissions or emissions, and taking a much broader look and seeing how all of this stuff comes together. I am much more sanguine about the next Trump administration's ability to do that than we have seen out of Joe Biden and his folks.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back much more to talk about with manufacturing on Nevada Newsmakers after this timeout.
The new year is bringing so much fun to Tamarack Casino with cash and free play drawings Thursdays and Saturdays, and $40,000 in grand finale giveaways Thursday, February 27th. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
Story County is leading Nevada, home of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, Google, Tesla, Panasonic, and other world-leading companies. Story County provides thousands of tech, advanced manufacturing, and logistics careers for Nevadans. We're diversifying and driving Nevada's economy and generating millions in tax revenue and billions in economic activity across northern Nevada. Story County is leading Nevada's future.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org. Here on 7 at 7, we're bringing you the local headlines in just 7 minutes.
We've got you covered in the morning, evening, and for all breaking news in between and as it happens.
Life is busy, and we don't waste your time. Join us for local news now streaming on our YouTube page.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Jay Parmer. He is the interim president of the Nevada Manufacturers Association, along with Paul Enos, who's the CEO of the Nevada Trucking Association, and will be helping Jay out and the association out with lobbying during the session. I want to talk about the Trump administration jobs and the tax cut. Where are we with this? Where do you think this is heading?
Well,
and will Congress go along, by the way?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think Congress wants to have a big tax increase, coming when these things expire. I know for both the trucking and the manufacturing industry, it was huge. Being able to depreciate new equipment, in a much faster way was a great thing in terms of investing in your business and being able to upgrade and bring some of that new technology in. So I think that's one of the phenomenal things. Of course, bringing the rates down, where there's a greater incentive to go out and invest and make money, I think is always a good thing. So no, we're excited about that, and I think that's a priority of this president, and hopefully it'll be a priority of the legislative branch as well.
In terms of investment, obviously interest rates play a role in that as well. But for those of us that have been around a while, these interest rates really aren't that high when you look historically. The interest rates that were around a couple of years ago were insanely low. Where do you think the interest rates are going to go, and how is that going to affect bringing businesses into Nevada for manufacturing?
Well, I don't think that the fact that we had low interest rates for a period of time that coincided with the former Trump administration was a bad thing. Interest rates were persistently high for a long time.
It depends if you were a senior citizen trying to save money and get interest on your money.
Well,
but for others who are trying to buy homes, totally agree with you.
Well, now that's offset by inflation, and inflation clearly was a big issue for voters going into the last election because it impacts everything. It impacts the manufacturing industry because when interest rates are high and when inflation is hitting the cost of automobiles, people are less likely to be able to buy a car, to replace a car, to add to a business fleet, or all of those things. So I would really say that the Jobs Act of 2017 was the rocket fuel that powered the manufacturing sector through the pandemic. Those were available. They allowed the industry to reinvest and to start doing things that they hadn't done in a while. And I think it's essential to the industry to see reauthorization of the Tax Cuts and Job Act as soon as the Congress can get around to it.
And the fact that we're in a permanent election cycle, I mean, the worst thing in the world would be to see an increase in taxes for anybody, because the way it's going to get painted is that it's going to hurt poor people, middle-class people, as well as big companies.
Sure, but I think, we saw when that was initially passed that wasn't the case. We saw some of the biggest wage growth at the lower end of the socioeconomic spectrum than we'd ever seen. And, that's what we want, Sam. We want somebody who graduates high school, who gets a job in the trucking industry or the manufacturing industry, to be able to buy a home, buy a vehicle, send their kids to college if they want. Really, I mean, that's the American dream that, I grew up expecting. And when I talk to my son, who's 19 years old, he's not sure if that's going to happen. It's like, hell, if I'm going to stay in Reno, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford a home. So having a strong economy, having a strong industrial base here, I think can contribute to that economy where, I am a firm believer in a rising tide floats all boats. And I think that is what we should be advocating for, not just, folks in the private sector, not just advocates like me and Jay representing those businesses, but really that should be at the forefront of the mind of every single elected official, because the reality is they don't rule us, they work for us. And when somebody works for you, you want to see them do a good job for you.
Let's take another break and we'll be right back.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you. But we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Jay Parmer, the interim president of the Nevada Manufacturing Association, and Paul Enos, CEO of the Nevada Trucking Association, who will be working with the manufacturers during the session. Jay, I wanted to ask you about the cost of energy. How is that affecting manufacturing at this point?
Yeah, it's a significant cost consideration from the standpoint of both availability and pricing. So far, the state of Nevada has done a good job at delivering energy in a way that it hasn't caused a lack of interest in coming here, but we have considerations that are ongoing. Everything from fuel coming across from California, how that's delivered, the reliability of that, and then also the cost of renewable energy. So it's something we have to keep an eye on. It's the critical piece, in addition to having a shovel-ready site to build a building or to acquire a building, is that energy reliability is very important to the people that ultimately make a decision to relocate here.
Yeah, and Doug Cannon, the head of NV Energy, will be on the program next month, so we'll have an opportunity to talk to him about that. You have a website. If people are interested in what you're doing, tell us about that.
If you're interested in the association and the work we're doing, you can go to our website, which is nvmanufacturers.com. And if you're interested in becoming part of the organization, the email is info@ndmanufacturers.com.
Okay. And for the members of that group, just so they know, if you want to join, you get the same benefits, the same programs that we have at the Nevada Trucking Association to save you money, to make sure that, you have the best advice on, everything from OSHA to EPA, CARB compliance, all of that stuff. So.
Gentlemen, thank you very much, and I know we will see you both at the legislature
Thanks,
in a couple of
Andy.
weeks.
Thanks for having us on.
You're very welcome, and we'll be right back.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real. It's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
We wouldn't steer you wrong with the gold standard of steaks at Joel's Chop House. Indulge in dry-aged steaks, seafood, Wagyu tomahawks, and great views of the Strip.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day on various platforms, including television, radio, our website, audio and video podcasts, YouTube. If you want to find the show, you can find it pretty darn easily. And we cover politics, business, health, and education. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next podcast.